When loneliness finds you, I am not far. I have watched as your days have grown quieter, as the laughter that once filled your home faded into echoes, and as the phone that once rang with familiar voices now sits still. I have seen the ache behind your smile when you tell others, "I'm fine, my beloved." I know the truth that trembles beneath those words. You are not invisible to me. I see the way the world has changed around you, how the pace has quickened, how faces have turned to screens, and how the warmth of community sometimes feels like a memory from a gentler time. Yet I tell you this with the authority of eternity. You are not forgotten, and your story is not finished. There are moments, I know, when the walls of your home seem to press in around you, when the silence hums too loudly, when even the sunlight through the window feels distant. But in that stillness, I am there. My spirit moves through quiet rooms, filling them with a presence too deep for words. You may think you are alone, but I am closer than breath, nearer than the pulse that beats within you. The ache you feel is not a sign of abandonment. It is the tender call of your soul reaching for me, and my love is always reaching back. Do you remember the times when you once felt me near, the moments of peace that came like a whisper, the sudden calm that entered your heart without reason? That was me. I was there in the laughter of your youth, in the long days of your labor, and I am here now in the quiet turning of your years. Loneliness does not mean absence. It is often the doorway through which I invite you into deeper communion with me. For when the noise of life fades, my voice can finally be heard clearly. I know that some of your friends have gone ahead into my arms, and you miss them with an ache that words cannot carry. You wonder why you are still here, what purpose remains when so much has changed. But hear me now. Your breath still rises and falls because your life still holds meaning. You are still part of my great design, still a vessel of love, still a light that I have chosen to shine in this world. The years that remain are not lesser. They are sacred. They are filled with opportunities to know me more deeply, to reflect my compassion more gently, and to share my peace more freely. When you wake in the early hours of the morning and feel that deep emptiness, speak to me. Tell me of your pain, your fears, your memories. I am not a distant God who demands perfection before listening. I am the one who bends low to hear the quietest prayer. When you say, "I feel forgotten," I respond, "I remember you." When you whisper, "I have no one left," I remind you, you have me. My companionship is not conditional upon your strength or your joy. Even when your heart is weary, even when tears blur your sight, I remain steady beside you. There are places in your heart that others may never understand, wounds that time alone cannot heal. Yet my hands are gentle upon those very places. I mend what was broken not by erasing your past, but by weaving it into something new. Every sorrow you have carried has become a thread in the tapestry of your becoming. I do not waste a single tear. Each one is gathered, remembered, and transformed into compassion for yourself and for others. When loneliness finds you, let it become a signal to reach out, not only to me, but to those who, like you, are longing to be seen. There are many around you who carry silent burdens, who sit behind closed doors waiting for a sign that they are not forgotten. You can be that sign. You can be the voice of comfort, the hand of grace, the smile that rekindles hope. For every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every moment you choose to love, even through your own pain, becomes a spark of my divine presence in the world. Do not believe the lie that your best days are behind you. The world measures life by youth and achievement, but I measure by love and faithfulness. The quiet prayers you whisper for others are heard in heaven as loudly as the songs of angels. The wisdom you have gained through hardship is a treasure that can bless those who are still finding their way. You are still a vessel through which my light shines, and even a single word spoken in compassion can change a life forever. When you feel the weight of solitude pressing upon you, lift your gaze, look beyond what your eyes can see, and trust that I am already at work in the unseen. My angels surround you, my grace sustains you, and my spirit comforts you. You are part of something vast and eternal, a story that began before time and will continue beyond the fading of the stars. Even now, your faith is shaping generations you may never meet. So, when loneliness finds you, do not despair. Invite me in. Let the quiet moments become sacred communion. Let the tears become prayers. Let the stillness become a resting place for your soul. I am the God who never leaves, who walks with you through every valley and rejoices with you at every sunrise. You are not wandering through the wilderness alone. You are walking with me, and I will never let go. Beloved, lift your heart. Even in the silence you are seen. Even in the emptiness you are loved. Even in your loneliness you are held by everlasting arms. I am here, and I always will be. My beloved child, I have walked beside you through the years when joy came easily, and I have stayed beside you in the seasons when tears became your language. I have seen your heart break in quiet places where no one else could see. I know the sting of loss that time cannot erase, the hollow ache that follows when someone you love is no longer here to hold your hand. I know how memories can both comfort and wound, how laughter from the past can echo like a reminder of what once was. Yet hear me now. I have never turned away from your sorrow. I dwell there, right in the center of your brokenness, not as a distant watcher, but as the God who kneels beside you and weeps with you. Many think that I dwell only in the high places, in the songs of praise, the sunlight on the hills, the laughter of the strong. But I tell you, my dwelling is also in the lowly places, in the hearts that tremble and the eyes that weep. When you mourn, I sit beside you. When you whisper a name into the quiet night, I hear it. Every sigh that escapes you becomes a prayer in my presence. You are not forgotten in your pain. You are most deeply known there. For the heart that has been broken is the heart that has been opened, and through those openings my light pours in. You have wondered at times why grief lingers so long, why even after years a certain scent or song can undo you. But grief is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of love. The depth of your mourning reflects the depth of your connection, and love that deep does not disappear. It transforms. I take your sorrow and reshape it, little by little, into compassion. Each tear that falls becomes a seed of mercy that I plant within you, so that one day, when you comfort another, you do so not from theory but from the well of your own healing. I have not asked you to forget the ones you've lost. I ask only that you allow me to carry the weight of your remembering. The souls you love are not gone from my keeping. They are more alive than ever, held within my eternal embrace. When you think of them, they are not far away. Love is not bound by death. It is part of my own being, and because I am eternal, love is eternal. Each time your heart turns in love, it reaches across eternity and touches them. And in those moments of quiet comfort that come unexplainably, know this: they are near, and I am the bridge between you. There are times when the brokenhearted feel unworthy of joy, as though laughter would betray the love they lost. But, beloved, I did not create joy to shame sorrow. I created it to remind you that even in mourning, life still moves with my breath. It is possible to grieve and yet live, to ache and yet hope. I am the one who turns mourning into dancing, not by denying pain, but by redeeming it. You are allowed to smile again. You are allowed to feel sunlight again. You are allowed to breathe without guilt. For I am with you in both the shadow and the light, in both the loss and the renewal. You have endured things that would have broken many others, and yet here you stand. You may not feel strong, but strength is not always loud. Sometimes strength is the simple act of rising each morning, of opening your eyes to another day, of whispering a prayer even when faith feels fragile. Every small act of endurance is a triumph of grace. I see each one, and I am proud of you. There will come moments when your heart still falters, when loneliness or grief returns uninvited. In those moments, do not turn inward in despair. Turn toward me. Speak to me as you would to a trusted friend. Tell me where it hurts, where you are tired, where you have lost hope. My listening is not impatient. I will not rush your healing. I know that restoration takes time, and I walk that time with you. I dwell not only in your victories, but also in your valleys. When others cannot find the words to comfort you, I will give you mine. When the nights stretch long and sleep will not come, I will sing over you songs of peace. My voice is not always heard by your ears, but your spirit knows it. It is that subtle stillness that enters your chest when you least expect it, that sudden sense that you are not alone. That is me, wrapping you in a love that does not tire. If you ever doubt my nearness, remember this: I chose to dwell among the broken. I came into the world not as a ruler above pain, but as one who bore it. I carried sorrow, rejection, and grief, so that no human heart would ever have to face them alone. When you cry, I understand because I too have wept. When your heart breaks, I do not stand apart, I stand within it. My divinity is not distant from your humanity. It embraces it fully. So, my child, take comfort. Your broken heart is not a mark of failure. It is the very place where I build my home. From the fragments of your loss, I am creating a new wholeness. From the ashes of what was, I am shaping beauty that will yet be. Do not rush this work. Trust it. You are being remade in my image, shaped by compassion, softened by grace, strengthened by love. And when you reach the day when peace finally settles upon you, when your tears no longer sting but shine like dew upon the memory of love, you will understand. I was with you all along, dwelling in the tender places of your heart, turning your pain into purpose and your sorrow into sacred strength. My beloved, there is power in every act of love you give, even the smallest. I see the moments when you reach beyond your pain to offer kindness, when you choose gentleness over bitterness, forgiveness over pride. You may think these gestures fade into the air, unnoticed and forgotten, but I tell you this truth. Nothing done in love ever disappears. Every word spoken with compassion, every silent prayer lifted for another, every act of mercy creates ripples that move far beyond your sight. They travel through hearts, through generations, through eternity itself, carried by my spirit like waves of light across the waters of creation. You may not see the results of your giving, but I do. I watch as one simple word of encouragement becomes the strength for another to rise again. I watch as a meal shared with someone lonely becomes a reminder that they are seen. I watch as a small act of forgiveness mends what resentment once divided. You may not be able to trace these ripples, but I am the one who sends them forth and multiplies them. Your kindness is never wasted. Your compassion is never forgotten. It moves through the world with a power greater than you can imagine. I know that sometimes you look at your hands and wonder what they can still do. They once built, served, and held so much. Now they tremble, and time has slowed their strength. But even these hands, weathered, wrinkled, tender with years, still carry my divine touch. When you place them gently on someone's shoulder, when you fold them in prayer, when you lift them in blessing, you are shaping eternity. Do not measure your worth by what the world applauds. The quiet good that you do in secret is more precious to me than the loudest achievements of men. Do you remember the story of the widow's offering? She gave only 2 small coins, yet I declared her gift greater than all others. Why? Because it was born from the fullness of her heart. So it is with you. Every time you give from a place of love, even when your resources are small, even when your energy is thin, your offering fills my kingdom with light. You may not stand before crowds, but heaven sees your faithfulness, and I rejoice in it. There are people in your life, perhaps younger souls or weary neighbors, who carry burdens they never voice. You may not realize it, but your words of wisdom, your patient listening, your gentle humor are lifelines for them. When you share your stories, you plant seeds of courage. When you bless others with your prayers, you build unseen bridges of grace. You are still my instrument, still part of my divine work in this world. Your influence has not faded with age, it has deepened. It is like a tree whose roots stretch far underground, unseen but holding the soil together. Do not underestimate what happens when you choose love instead of complaint, gratitude instead of despair. The world is weary, my child, and many hearts are searching for a light that does not flicker. You are that light when you act with compassion. You carry my flame when you smile at a stranger, when you forgive the past, when you offer patience in a hurried world. Every gentle word you speak is a reflection of my voice, and every kindness you show is a reflection of my nature. When you forgive those who have hurt you, you do not only set yourself free, you release healing into the world. I see how hard forgiveness can be, especially when wounds run deep or when the other person never asked for mercy. But forgiveness is not permission for wrongdoing. It is participation in my divine restoration. It is the act of trusting me to make right what you cannot. And when you choose it, even through trembling lips, you unleash ripples of peace that touch places you will never see. There are also moments when you give out of your need, when you extend kindness though your own heart aches. Those are the moments that shake heaven. Love that costs you something carries a fragrance unlike any other. It is the scent of sacrifice, the perfume of my own heart. When you comfort another while you yourself are grieving, you mirror my compassion. When you give even while you are afraid of lack, you mirror my generosity. And I, in turn, pour back into you in ways you cannot measure. My child, never believe that your life has ceased to matter because the world no longer applauds you. My kingdom is not built by applause, it is built by love. The quiet choices of goodness made by souls like yours sustain the fabric of humanity. Your life still has purpose, and that purpose is holy. You are still a vessel through which my mercy flows, still a channel through which my peace enters the world. When you reach the end of a day and wonder if anything you did made a difference, listen closely. The answer is yes, infinitely yes. The kindness you gave today may echo in ways you will only understand in eternity. The word of comfort you spoke may have stopped someone from giving up. The small prayer you whispered may have turned away despair from a heart you will never meet. You live in a web of divine connection, where every act of grace is woven into the eternal story of redemption I am writing. So keep loving, keep giving, keep forgiving. Let your life continue to send ripples across the waters of time. Though you may not see the shores they reach, trust that they do. I am the one who carries them forward. I am the one who multiplies your goodness and weaves it into the destiny of others. You are never too old, never too small, never too late to make a difference. The light that shines from your heart still moves mountains in my name. And when your earthly journey comes to its close, you will see it all, the lives touched, the hearts healed, the beauty born from your simple acts of faith. You will stand with me and behold the great ocean of grace that began with the small ripples of your love. My beloved child, I know how you measure yourself. You look back on your life and count the things left undone, the dreams that faded, the relationships that faltered, the goals that slipped through your fingers like sand. You whisper, I should have done more, and a quiet ache settles in your chest. But hear me clearly now, with the full authority of eternal love. My affection for you has never been tied to your success. You were loved before you achieved anything, and you are loved now, regardless of what you believe you've failed to do. My love is not earned, it is given, constant, unchanging. It is the foundation beneath all your striving and the final rest after all your labor. When I look upon you, I do not see failure. I see a life lived within the winds of change, a heart that kept beating even when hope trembled, a soul that continued to reach for me even through pain. The world teaches you to measure worth by accomplishments, by what you've built, gained, or produced. But I measure differently. I measure by the love you've carried, the mercy you've shown, the prayers you've whispered in the quiet hours when no one else saw. Those unseen moments are the treasures that fill my kingdom. There were times, I know, when you felt your best years were behind you, when you wondered if you had anything left to offer. Yet even in those seasons of weariness, you reflected my grace. The simple patience you showed to someone struggling, the way you smiled at a stranger, the courage you displayed in getting up each morning despite sorrow. These were acts of faith greater than you realized. For every step you took in weakness, I walked beside you, turning each small act into a work of eternal beauty. When you stumble and fall short of your own expectations, remember that I am not disappointed in you. I am not standing at a distance, tallying your mistakes. I am the one who stoops to lift you up, who wipes the dust from your hands, who whispers, "Try again, beloved." My mercy is new this morning. I know your humanity, for I shaped it. I know your limits, for I gave them. I do not despise your frailty. I cherish it, for it draws you to depend on me. Your weakness is not your shame. It is the doorway through which my strength enters. You have often asked me, have I done enough? Let me answer that now. Your worth was never a matter of doing. It was always a matter of being. You are mine. That alone is enough. The purpose of your life has never been to achieve perfection, but to grow in love. Every mistake that humbled you taught compassion. Every disappointment taught endurance. Every heartache made your spirit softer and more open to my presence. I have used every piece of your journey, even the broken ones, to shape you into the image of my love. Look at the way you have touched lives, perhaps without realizing it. That grandchild who still remembers your patient listening. That neighbor who found courage because of your kindness. That friend who felt less alone because you simply sat beside them in silence. You may not call these things success, but I do. For what greater success is there than to love well? The world forgets these quiet victories, but heaven celebrates them. When your strength falters and your body reminds you that time cannot be stopped, do not despair. I am not finished with you. There is purpose even in your resting, even in your slowing down. The world may call it decline, but I call it preparation, a drawing near to me. In this season of stillness, I am teaching you the deepest truth of all, that my love was never a reward for effort, but a gift freely given. You are learning to receive without striving, to be loved without earning. This is the heart of eternal life, resting in the certainty that nothing can separate you from my love. Do not look back on your years with regret. Every chapter of your life was written with intention. The seasons of joy were blessings. The seasons of loss were refining fires. Together, they have formed the masterpiece that is you. Not perfect by human standards, but perfect in the way a soul is perfected through grace. The very cracks you wish you could erase are the places where my light shines through most clearly. I know the culture around you speaks endlessly of youth and achievement, as though aging is a fading rather than a fulfillment. But in my eyes, your later years are a sacred harvest, the fruits of your faith, the wisdom of your endurance, the gentleness you have learned through pain. These are the riches that matter. You are not in decline. You are ripening toward eternity. And when you cross that final threshold, you will not meet a stranger but a friend who has walked beside you all along. So rest, my child. You have nothing left to prove. You have lived, loved, lost, and risen again. You have carried burdens and offered grace. You have been wounded, yet you still believe. That is victory. That is faith. That is what delights me. When you finally see me face to face, you will not hear words of judgment or disappointment. You will hear the words I have long prepared for you. Well done, my beloved. You loved as I loved, and that is enough until that moment. Know this. My love surrounds you now as surely as it did in your first breath. It does not fade with age or falter with weakness. It is steadfast, unconditional, eternal. When your strength wanes, lean on me. When your spirit trembles, rest in me. When you doubt your worth, remember that I created you in love and will hold you in that same love forever. Success fades, achievements pass, but love endures, and the love you have given and the love you have received will echo forever in my kingdom. You are not forgotten, not unseen, not unfinished. You are mine, and you are deeply, eternally loved.